Hello everyone, welcome back to Mayebell Crossing and happy Halloween. Today we are going to be doing a completely different video than what I had planned. I said in previous videos that we were going to do basically everything that Jack wants you to do on Halloween, but today we are actually going to be visiting two dream addresses of an account that I follow on Instagram that I just love her work. I think she's absolutely incredible. And they go by HorrorCrossing on Instagram, and we're going to be visiting her two islands, finished islands, dream addresses, Midsommar and Amityville. So today we're on Amityville right now. We're going to start off with that one first. I've been on a brief hiatus, or like quite a long hiatus, I guess, of like around 4 or 5 weeks now. I have just been crazy busy with life changes, honestly. One of the biggest ones being that I have given my notice to quit my job and I'm going back to school, which is pretty wild in and of itself, and just a bunch of other things that are happening that are just stressful nonetheless. I don't really know if I'm ever going to be going back onto a schedule, not anytime soon, at least for filming, but I will be doing videos, trying to do videos as often as I can, with a bunch of stuff going on anyway. But I'm really excited to bring you guys this video today. Water break. And I have 3 scary stories to tell you guys, of things that have actually happened to me in my life, and if you choose to believe them or not, that is completely up to you. But these aren't fabricated, these are 100% true and happened to me when I was some of them when I was a little kid, others whenever I was kind of like 10, 11ish, I would say. So we are going to be walking around Amityville, and I'm going to be sharing spooky stories with you. And we're going to start off with the very first ghosty experience that I've ever had in my life, which would be when I was around 3 or 4. So this one I don't obviously remember, but my mom and dad do, and they have told me this story. Oh my god, look at the brains. Oh my god, it's a little like spooky grocery store. That's fantastic. Wow. That looks so good. So this first story is basically I was around 3 or 4 years old, and I was sleeping, and my mom and dad had just got a phone call that my great-grandma had passed away. So I didn't even know, really anything about that at that age. I don't believe she was sick. I believe it was just old age. But I was upstairs, and after my mom and dad had gotten that call, I was upstairs sleeping, or so they thought. It was around midnight at that time. 3 or 4-year-old Michaela should be asleep. But they come up to my room and they heard me talking to myself. Oh my god, this is so creepy. Oh my god, this is so well done. Wow. Jeez. They assumed I was sleeping. So my parents came into my room and they were like, "Hey honey, like, who are you talking to?" And I just said, "Oh, Gigi," which was what we called my great grandma. I was like, "I'm talking to Gigi, like she's taking me to go and see the cows at the farm." And I don't know what that meant. My parents don't know what that meant, but they just came into my room. I was sitting up in my bed, or crib or whatever it was, talking to no one. And my mom was like, "Okay, like that's crazy." Oh my god, look at the little birthday. That's crazy. Oh my god. I love the pathing. Like, this pathing is beautiful. I was talking to my great grandma, who they had just gotten notice that had passed away. So that was pretty wild. That was the first kind of experience that we've had, where I was, kind of, I guess, sensitive to ghosts, or like the spirit realm. Oh my god, this is cute too. It's like a little camping thing. Oh, it's a little campsite. That's cute. Jeez, this is really neat. I love all the work that goes into Dream Address, like finished islands. I could never, like, honestly, I could never. Um, so yeah, that was kind of the first experience that I've ever had, that clearly I don't really remember because I was a kid, but my mom, told me all about it, which was pretty wild. So that brings us to the second story when these are actual events that have happened to me that I do remember. So, um, oh my god, that's so cute. Little stand. Oh my god, a little skeleton. Hold on. We're gonna see. Is it Jesus, Michaela? Okay. No. Oh my god, why am I struggling with this? Okay, you know what? We're not even. It's just gonna annoy me. Oh my god, this looks great. This is pretty wild. I love those lights. That looks so good. Um, so yeah, sorry, this next story is going to be something that has actually happened to me. So, when I was still a kid, I was still young, I was living in this house with my dad at the time. So my parents had split up, and living in, we were living in this house with my dad, um, and every time, like every morning, I guess we would go into his room and we'd wake him up by jumping on the bed and just being like obnoxious children. So we'd jump on the bed, wake him up, he would always laugh, and then he'd have like a tickle fight with us. So he'd be tickling us and we'd just be laughing and being like, stop, stop, and whatever. And it just like, it was fun. It was all fun and games. It was never anything sinister, like, or anything like scary or anything. So when we were having a tickle fight one morning, um, and we were yelling, stop, stop, and just giggling. My dad, my sister, and my dad just thought he was the only one that heard this deep, guttural voice yell, stop. Like this man's voice just scream, stop. It was so loud and so frightening that, like, my dad just obviously immediately stopped and was like, what the hell was that? And he thought that, okay, it was just me that heard it, like, I'm just losing it or something. But then he looked over to me and my sister, and we were like white as a sheet. Like, we were like so scared. And he was like, okay, now I know this was not just me. Like, okay, I love these carved pumpkins. I don't know, is that like a DIY thing, or do you buy those? Or that looks phenomenal. Those look so good. I also love this little tarantula setup. Um, but yeah, so that was absolutely terrifying, just hearing that guttural, deep man's voice yell, stop, out of nowhere. So that was, a first thing that was kind of like, okay, that is really eerie. Oh my god, I love this little campground, or not campground, playground. That's so cute. Oh, this looks so good. So yeah, so that when that happened, my dad was obviously like shook. So continuing in that house, I have one more story from in that house. So one time, me and my dad and my sister were all staying up, not late, but like later. We'd always watch Looney Tunes before going to bed. So we were watching Looney Tunes and everything was fine. And my dad was like, all right, like, you go upstairs, talking to my younger sister, being like, go upstairs, get ready for bed. And then we'll be up shortly. We were just going to finish watching like the last little cartoon and then we're going to go to bed. So we were going upstairs and, gotta collect all the coins, of course. Okay, I love this. This is so cute. Oh, it's adorable. Oh, I love this paint. It's like fluorescent paint. Looks great. So my sister went upstairs to get ready for bed, and that was when we heard this loud bang crashing sound, like multiple things falling down a flight of stairs. Obviously, me and my dad, we both jumped and we ran upstairs thinking that, maybe my sister fell, maybe, like, I don't know what it was. So we go to investigate, and nothing had fallen. And we had a board game closet, which is what it sounded like. It sounded like a bunch of things falling down the stairs. So we're like, oh shit, like all the board games must have just fallen down the stairs for whatever reason. But it didn't really make a whole lot of sense because our closet was on the opposite end of the stairs. So they would have to, like, someone would have to pick them up and move them and throw them down the stairs. So we went upstairs and nothing had fallen. Literally nothing moved. And the worst part too is that we know it came from upstairs. So when we were talking to my sister about it, we're like, hey, are you okay? Like, did something fall? And my sister's like, what are you talking about? Like, nothing fell. I didn't hear anything. But it came from upstairs. So the fact that my sister didn't hear it and they were right there, like, that's beyond creepy. Like, that just, I don't even understand how that's possible. But, yeah, it was absolutely terrifying. That was another incident that was, like, kind of, like, early in my childhood. So that just was, like, no thank you. Oh my god, look at the Silence of the Lambs poster. That's crazy. This looks great. Like, kudos to you. This is phenomenal. I love how all the yards are finished as well for the villagers, and everything is so eerie and spooky. It's phenomenal. That's awesome. Oh my god, it looks so good. So now I lived there for a few years. So in this basement, I had always gotten very creepy vibes from the basement itself. We had a little play area, like little play, what is it, like a playroom, I guess? Yeah, like a little playroom in the basement. But I never really liked to go down there by myself. Like, it was just very creepy. I don't know why, but I just felt like very uneasy in this basement. And I did for the entirety that I lived there. So when I was down there with my sister, which I would only ever go down with my sister to play, nothing ever really happened. Like, there was nothing, nothing went bump, nothing moved, nothing, any sort of scary thing didn't actually happen while I was there. It was the aftermath. So it's been quite recent that I've been having recurring nightmares of that basement, feeling like it was like a portal into, like, the spirit realm, feeling like just I'm back in that basement, and I'm terrified to go into the basement, but I always need something in there. So I'll, like, try to go in, but I get this awful feeling that I can't. So it's always like spirits are over on the other side of this, like, wall or the door there, like, that I need to go into. It feels like there are spirits on the other side of that door, and I just can't bring myself to go into that side of the basement. I don't know why. It's the weirdest thing. Nothing ever happened in that basement. It was just really creepy, and it could just be, like, subconscious baby Michaela being like, hey, no thanks. Like, that's a very scary, like, feeling that I used to have in that basement, so we're not even going to entertain it anymore. It could just be that. I have no idea. Oh my god, look at these. Oh my god. I like how they use it as, like, body bags, but also, like, that's so sad. Oh, poor Bob Marshall. Oh my god. This is crazy. This looks so good, though. Like, they really upped the creep factor. It looks fantastic. So yeah, it's just really creepy, like, eerie feeling, I guess, I have of dreams that I have in this basement. But nothing ever happened. So that's kind of, like, not really a ghosty story, but I'm saving the best one for last. So this last story is going to be on the longer side. And it's one that still just gives me the creeps, and everyone that I tell, like, even when I told my boyfriend about it, he was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, it's a very eerie story. That this one is probably the one that sounds the most unrealistic, but it did happen. Oh, actually, no. Sorry, I have two stories I'm going to share you guys. So, well, we're going to end with. The next story is going to be the scarier one, and then we're going to end with a nicer one. So, this next story, yeah, is the one that's going to seem a bit far-fetched, but it's not. So, this was when I was living in one of the houses that my parents had when I was a kid, that we had moved to with just my mom this time. So it was just this house that I had with my mom, and oh my god, look at this little arcade section. Oh, this looks so good. This looks phenomenal. Like, I just love it. Oh my god, like creepy clown. Yeah. Yep. Look at that. Oh my god, this is so good. Jeez, that looks fantastic. Wow. So this was a house that I was just living in with my mom at the time. So, nothing was really creepy about this house. It was a beautiful little bungalow, and we were just watching this scary show, which wasn't even scary. It was scary for kids, I guess. It was made for kids on, like, YTV. That was, like, kids going ghost hunting, basically. But it wasn't ever anything serious because they're children. So I'm pretty, it was all staged 100%, but anyway, it was scary nonetheless to little Michaela. So I was like watching the show, and I asked my mom if she believed in ghosts, and she was like, "Oh, I don't really believe in ghosts. I believe in spirits. I believe that people are here to, you know, like, your loved ones are here to help you and help you move on, and just, like, watch over you and all that, like, grieve and whatever." So it was just a very nice outlook that she had on spirits. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, as soon as she said that, the kettle started boiling, and we had this kettle that was like, it was like a little plastic push button kettle, which it is quite hard, so you have to literally go over and physically push it down to make this kettle boil, which, no one did. So when it started boiling, like, it was instantaneous boiling. My mom was like, I put it on a timer. This kettle did not have a timer. We were not that dumb. We knew that at that age, me and my sister. Like, there was no way. So, that was probably really creepy. And that was the first incident at this house. So, we're going to continue the stories. I'm going to boot over to Midsommar. So, this was Amityville by HorrorCrossing, and it is so good. It looks so freaking spooky. It's fantastic. The padding is beautiful. All the decorations and custom codes are phenomenal. I really enjoyed this island. I thought it did its job in being super spooky. So we are going to pop over to Midsommar, and then I'm going to continue this story. Okay, and we are entering Midsommar now, so it's been like a second for you guys and like a few minutes for me. So anyway, finishing up with that story, yeah, the kettle started boiling, super creepy, out of nowhere. It made no sense. So after I was thinking about it, it was actually this story. It was this house's basement that I still have nightmares about. But again, nothing happened in this basement, so I don't understand why I have these nightmares, but whatever. So when she obviously knew that we knew that obviously there was no timer on said kettle, my sister went to her room, and then I went to my mom and was like, hey, that kettle does not have a timer. And she's like, no, it does not. I'm like, okay, good, great. So that was creepy. So when we started, it was kind of lull in the time that, for like paranormal activity, I guess. There was nothing that really happened up until one night when me and my sister were sleeping, and I had woken up. Active cult in the area. Oh my god, this is good too. This looks so good. yeah, I had woken up out of my sleep and was like looking outside, I guess into the hallway, and I had seen what looked like a woman standing in our living room, or in our hallway. And the way that my house was set up was there was me and my sister's room on one side of the hallway and my mom's room at the end of the hallway, and just this long hallway that connected to our living room. So it was very, like, everyone could see it. Like, it was a very open concept house. Like, everyone could see into this hallway. So I had, beware, go back. Oh, go forward, thank you. Oh, look at all of these flowers. Oh my god, this is just like the frickin' movie Midsommar. If you have not seen Midsommar, I would not advise it. It is probably one of the creepiest movies I have ever seen in my frickin', oh my god, in my frickin' life. Like, literally ruined me for a few days. Like, it's a very scary horror movie. Yeah, it's creepy beyond belief. So, hi, buddy. Welcome. Oh, thank you. So yeah, I had seen this woman standing in a white nightgown in our hallway, and I had yelled to wake my mom up, and she was like, "There's no one there, Michaela. Like, just go back to bed. You're just seeing things." And I'm like, am I? Because, like, she is right there. Like, I see her. So, I closed my eyes really hard and opened them again, and she was gone. So I was like, okay, maybe it was just, I'd woken up from a bad dream or something. I don't know. So I had just kind of let it go until things started happening to my mom. So she would be sleeping, and it wouldn't happen every night, but most nights she would feel this cat walking on her. And we never had any animals, so my mom's like really allergic to cats, which is hilarious because we have a cat now. But well, I have a cat, but anyway, it was just obviously terrifying when you feel an animal walking on you that you do not own. So my mom would feel these little cat paws and the bed sinking and walking up, and then he would nuzzle and sleep right in between her legs. And my mom was like, okay, what is going on? So we just kind of chalked it up to, I don't know what she chalked it up to, because she didn't actually tell us, but I think she just was thinking, like, okay, like, it's just a ghost cat, it'll be fine, like, it's not spooky. So when this repetitively kept happening, and I saw the woman in my sleep in the white nightgown, my mom went to our landlord, because we were renting the house at the time. She went to the landlord and was like, hey, like, who stayed in this house before us? And the landlord was like, oh, it was actually this is where it gets, like, kind of freaking crazy. So she said, oh, it was this woman that lived here alone with her cat, but she had to move closer to the hospital because she got really sick and she was dying. What? Like, what the hell? How? First of all, this is really cute too. I fucking love all of this. But, like, that cannot, you can't make that shit up. And my mom didn't even tell him anything about what we were experiencing. Nothing to lead to the fact that we thought the place was haunted. Nothing like that. So the fact that he was like, yeah, this lady died pretty much, like, or had passed away, but at a house closer to the hospital with her cat, was a bit eerie. So whether the cat had passed away or not, or it was just her manifesting the cat because that's all she really had, that's what I am kind of gathering from it. I don't have a doubt in my mind that we saw the woman that used to own the house before us. That was probably one of the creepiest things, which, I mean, isn't really a super scary story. It is eerie and terrifying when you're younger and don't really want to see ghosts just chilling in your house. You should leave. Oh my god, your outfit is so cute too. Oh my god, I love all this. I love this guy. This freaking guy. He's so cute. Yeah, so it was just really freaking creepy, and we didn't leave because of that. Because no harm was ever brought to us. It was just a very, very creepy thing to have happened. And I'd only seen her once, too, which, I mean, once is enough for me. But yeah, that was probably one of the scariest occurrences that I've ever had, especially when we kind of got the confirmation that she most likely had passed, because it was years after she had moved. Well, I guess not years, but it was a while after she had moved that we had seen. Oh my god, this is so cool. I love those flames. That's so neat. I didn't even know that was an item. This is a really, really good island too. This looks fantastic. Wow. And I love the finished like yards and everything too. This looks great. I don't think I can ever get to this status of finished island. Like, I'm going to share my dream address someday, but not now. Because it's my island does not compare to the slightest. The well. Oh my god. This is super eerie and creepy. I love it. Oh, I love it. So yeah, that was probably one of the creepiest stories ever, was just the fact that, yeah, we had that pretty much the confirmation there. And, you know, that was just a no thank you. So that brings me to the very last story that I have for you today, which is this one I, without a shadow of a doubt, know happened. Well, it actually happened quite recently too. But it makes sense. So anyway, when I don't know how old I was. I was probably 11 or, yeah, probably close to 11, 10 or 11. Anyway, not the point, but I'm just giving you a timeline. So, when I was a kid, my grandfather, passed away from cancer, which I took really hard. I still take it quite hard just because he was like my dad to me. Anyway, yeah, so he was like my father figure for majority of my life and during some really hard times in my life too. So he got cancer at quite a young age. He was 65 when he passed away. And I believe he was 65 when he passed away. He was in his 60s. And it was just devastating for me. Like, I was just beside myself, so upset. And it's something that I still struggle with talking about too much. So we're gonna not think about it and kind of bypass so I don't get emotional. But so when my grandpa passed away, I was the oldest grandkid, or I am the oldest grandkid, but I was the oldest one at the time too that kind of knew what was going on. A lot of my cousins didn't quite understand. So they would ask me like what my grandma was getting a lot of condolences cards, and they were like, what does condolence mean? So I kind of helped them, you know, figure it out a little bit and talk a little bit about it, and we're all just coping and trying to be okay. But oh my god, that looks so good too. I love this. Oh, so good. But yeah, it was really upsetting. So anyway, one day, this was years after he had passed away, so I wasn't even really thinking about it, but my grandma still lived in the house that they had lived in, which was just like our child home, grandparent house. Like, they had never moved. They just had this nice house out in the country. So I was babysitting my cousins one night, and I had put everyone to bed, and I wasn't even thinking of my grandpa, and I go downstairs in the living room. He is fucking sitting on the couch. I am not shitting you guys. Like, it was it scared the fucking shit out of me, because you go downstairs just expecting no one, literally just you, and my grandpa was sitting on the couch, and I jumped away and gasped, and all I saw was his head turn towards me, and then he disappeared. And it was fucking, like, heartbreaking, too, to think about, because I'm like, God damn, if I just didn't get scared, because I had the TV on, too. My grandpa was a huge TV guy. Like, he'd watch sports, he would just always be watching something on the TV. So the fact that he was sitting on his sofa watching the TV was just, you know, so my grandfather. So I just, like, gasped and jumped, and I seen his head turn and look at me, and then he disappeared. And I was like, just heartbroken, because I'm like, oh my God, we could have, like, I could have talked to you maybe, or at least, like, hung out with you a little bit. I don't know, but that was kind of hard on me. Made me really sad, which it still kind of does, but just the fact that I had seen him there was just almost a little bit of closure, too, because I know that he's looking after us and watching over us and everything. So that was really nice, but it was also just, it scared the shit out of me. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, it scared the absolute shit out of me, because, yeah, when you are expecting no one to be there, and you go and you see your grandfather that has, you know, passed away and has been gone for years, and he's just chilling on the couch watching cartoons, yeah, that's definitely something to be a little spooked about. So, but just seeing him too was just a lot of closure. And I told my grandma about it too, and I said grandpa was sitting on the couch, like, watching us, which is pretty crazy, because I still have signs from him, like, to this day. Like, I always see the blue jay as a sign of my grandfather. So yeah, just, that was probably one of the coolest ghost experiences that I've ever had. And then I've obviously had, like, the creepy, like, something goes bump in the night, like, something's, like, moving around that shouldn't be moving around, something falls in the night. Recently, my TV has been turning on and off by itself, in, like, at 3 a.m., which is more annoying than anything, to be honest with you. It's not even, like, spooky, it's just annoying when you're trying to sleep and you have this blinding light in your face. But yeah, you guys, those are my ghost stories. And I mean, I don't think they're so crazy that they're unbelievable, but just enough spooks to be like, okay, you know, that's definitely creepy. And I understand that a lot of people, if you're a skeptic, then it's going to be hard for you to believe it. My boyfriend's still a skeptic, which is fine. Everyone is obviously entitled to their own beliefs and opinions and all that, but all I can do is just tell you guys exactly what happened to me and my experience with the paranormal, and, you know, just hope that you guys, if you don't believe it, then at least you get some entertainment out of it. But yeah, those are the creepiest stories and things that have ever happened to me, and probably the most prominent ghost stories that I've ever had, or any sort of experience that I've ever had like that. So yeah, and this island, oh my God, is so good too, and I just can't believe all the work that's been put into this. Like, I just think the creativity is just like a whole nother level. So we have finished touring Midsommar and Amityville, and they are incredible. HorrorCrossing, you should be so proud of yourself if you ever watch this, and if you do, I freaking love you. Your videos, or not your videos, sorry, your content is phenomenal. So thank you guys so much for joining me on Halloween. Super spooky, and thank you for listening to my stories. And I'm sorry that my videos are still kind of like lackluster. I'm still getting out of a funk that I have been in for a while, which is not going to get any better with this weather coming up, because we're getting into winter, which is going to be hell in and of its own. So, but we're gonna push through it. I am looking into making a second channel. I had done a poll on Instagram yesterday about if you guys would be interested in me branching out more rather than just doing Animal Crossing. Some people said yes, some people said no. So last time I checked, it was 50-50. I think that was the final verdict. So I'm going to be making a second channel eventually of just regular gaming stuff. So I'll still have Mayebell Crossing, but we're going to be going into, I guess, more chartered territory of doing other games. So that could be horror games, that could be like literally anything. So we're going to be doing that eventually. We're just going to see how it goes with my life, pretty much, and how much time I can dedicate to it. But I thank you guys so much for being there for me and supporting the channel and Instagram and everything, and just bearing with me while I just figure my shit out, because I'm not making videos that I'm super proud of. I feel like I'm rambling a lot. I feel like I can't really stay on topic or task, and I feel like my brain isn't really functioning all that well right now, but that's okay. So anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great and safe Halloween and have lots of fun and have a bunch of candy and have a great time trick-or-treating. And if you don't, then have fun at parties, and if you don't do that, then just have fun doing whatever you do. If you just sit at home and watch horror movies, like, that's what I would do, or just sit at home and literally do nothing. I've done that too, and it is all amazing. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!